나는 어디에서 왔으며 무엇을 위해 살아가고 있는 것일까? 우주의 존재 목적은 무엇일까? 인생과 우주에 대한 근원적인 물음은 전 인류의 공통 관심사일 텐데요. 필리핀 도장 마일라 플러리 성도님은 인간 농사 짓는 우주 일련 소식을 통해 상제님 진리를 깨달았다고 합니다. 사흘주 도공 수행을 통해 천지조화를 체험하며 신앙도 더욱 깊어졌다고 하는데요. 어떤 사연인지 영상으로 만나보시죠.
My name is Myla Fleury, and I'm from the Philippines. And I'm currently going through the final stages of my IPDA ceremony for the Jongsandu Manila program, which is run by Sankyu Lee, my progeny.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you met Jingsan-do?
Okay. That was 5 years ago when I took up this leadership seminar. I met Sankyu Lee, which is now my progeny, and I attended this Jongsandu workshop. And at the same time, I was conducting some research on Yin Yang and Confucianism because I was developing my research paper. When I attended the Jongsandu workshop, he showed us the basic principles of Yin Yang, Gabyok, 5 elements, and the changes. And when I saw that, I was so surprised because I learned a lot from him in 2 hours compared to the weeks that I was note-taking and reading a lot of books and academic journals, of which I struggled greatly because I have no background in Oriental philosophy. So when he did that, I was just thrilled and surprised. I said, "How did you manage that?" And after that, we had coffee in a cafe, and he showed me the Jongsandu diagram again and reduced everything in a paper napkin. And then after that, we formulated an idea that the yin-yang interacts like a whirlwind. You know, at the beginning, this is the universe, right? And then it expands this way in a cone shape. And then that's comprised of an infinite series of yin-yang interaction because we have to respect the fact that it's cyclical process like birth, growth, harvest, and rest. So that's how we viewed things. And I was amazed. This is how the way of the world works. And because before, it seems that most of the participants of the workshop viewed the yin and yang interaction as a coil spring, that it's straight on. No, it's not. I said, it's that way. It goes like that. It expands because it starts from here and then the creation of the universe happens. And after that, I really wanted to learn more about Jongsandu's teachings.
What is Jingsan-do to you?
Jongsandu to me is something that gives me clarity and direction in my life. Because the thing is, after I learned about that, about the yin-yang interaction, learning about how the way of the world works in that simple manner, I started attending the meditation. I started learning about Jongsandu, the Dojon, and to me, as I learned from it, I gained a deeper insight of yin-yang, and I also learned a lot about myself.
What do you think about Gabyok and how are you preparing for it?
Well, what I think about the Gabyok, I think the Gabyok is not the end of the world. It is more like the end of the old world and the beginning of the new one. It's a transition, as Pojonim always says. So how am I preparing for it? I'm meditating every day. I'm attending the Qigong, and I'm also learning from the Dojon.
You chant the Tilch mantra. You say you do overnight meditation, and so you've also practiced Togong meditation. Could you tell us if you have had any spiritual experiences through meditation?
Well, I had. In fact, I can tell you one that is most significant. I have numerous, but they're mostly visions. But this one is different because I went to that overnight meditation, and then we did dogong meditation and the static meditation, and then I prayed that I will find the suitable topic for my research. And then a few weeks down the line, I had a dream, and that voice said, you need to find this book. This is where you'll find your topic for your research. And then as soon as I woke up, I knew that book because I read about it. And it's very rare because it belongs to an area of research which is very unique. So I had to go to the publishing house, right? So I woke up and got dressed and just went to the publishing house and bought the book and then read it over lunch. And when I read it, I realized that this is the right topic. I will submit this. And then when I submitted it to the research office, they approved it. They said, "You're onto something here. You're on a great track. So do it."
How do you think that you received this message from your dream? Like, do you feel like there were any other sources of inspiration or help from, spirits or something?
Oh, I do feel that way because when I read the Dojon, when I go through Taimonim's experiences, and with regards to my research on women and Confucianism, I think I've got that inspiration from there. And that, like I said, I felt that my work was validated after that. And when I read what's in the Jade Flute and how it says that there should be equal yin and yang in the later heaven, I just feel that that is the way to move forward.
What are some of your future plans as a practitioner of Chingsan-do?
Well, for one thing, I'm going to be very much involved with the Manila Dojang, and we're hoping that we could be part of the translation team because we're volunteers for the translation team, and we've always wanted Jongsan-do to translate most of their materials in English so we can disseminate it. Because I think that's what's lacking.
미국의 원주민인 인디언. 과거 아시아에서 건너간 우리의 형제라고 하죠. 그중 호피족은 인디언의 사상과 전통을 여전히 간직하고 있는 마지막 원주민인데요. 그들에겐 새 세상이 열린다는 소식과 하나님이 자신들을 구원하기 위해 오신다는 믿음이 있다고 합니다. 호피족인 마이클 성도님은 그들이 추구해왔던 새 세상에 대한 비전과 해답을 증산도의 가을 대개벽과 후천 성경 소식에서 찾았다는데요. 어떤 사연인지 영상으로 만나보시죠.
My name is Michael List. My Hopi name is Wahoo Teo. I was introduced to the Jungsan-do through friends of mine. I was introduced to Song-Ki Kim, who belongs to the LA chapter, and invited him to go to the Hopi reservation because he wanted to see it very bad. The Hopi nation, it has been questioned for many, many years where we actually come from. We know that we migrated from somewhere in Asia, but exactly where it was unknown. During the migration, as we reached the point where we were supposed to be, some didn't finish the migration, some did, and we landed in the spot in which we were ordered to go to, which is now known as Arizona in the United States.
You said your Hopis do not receive any support from U.S. government.
No, we receive no financial support from the government whatsoever. We are the last of the indigenous people to be discovered in the United States. We are the only nation that did not side with the United States government. It was important that we did not because then we would give up the rights to the land that we were on. or other nations, they gave up their right, they were moved, and then put onto reservations. The Hopi Reservation is one of the very few that is not a closed-off reservation. Anyone is free to come to the Hopi, visit with the Hopi, learn about the Hopi. We welcome people to our reservation so that we can be seen for who we are and not what others say that we are.
How many Indian clans or Indian tribes are there?
It's undetermined because many nations have fallen, many nations have disappeared. By orders of the government, they began to give us entitlement to different names. So the actual number of Native American nations is not true. Even at this very moment that we're speaking, Christian societies are trying to form their own nations and being dubbed as original Native Americans and are not. So the number is undetermined. But what is important, throughout the Pueblos, we have a formulation of 18 different nations combining as one.
You said your Hopis believe in Gabriel. What is about it?
The history has been so long ago. Everything was handed down not by record or writing, but by oral history. Many of the ceremonies that we do teach about what is now known as Gabiok, and we have been preparing for thousands of years for this moment, which we know is about to happen. Gabiok is a new word for the Hopi. At one time, they understood it. Location on the Hopi Reservation, we have what is now called the cosmic calendar. No one knows exactly how long it has been there, but as our oral stories, our traditions, and our ceremonies are all geared to the change of heaven and earth. And thus, the Hopi have been preparing for thousands of years. All of our ceremonies are geared to creation, earth, and heaven, so that when Gabiok comes, we are to be the ones who are predestined or pre-chosen to reteach all the native world indigenous peoples in the Western world about Gabiok and prepare them for what is to come.
In the future, Gabriel period, someone will come to your village and survive or rescue Hopi. What is about it?
Through prophecy, it was taught to the Hopi that one day, at a particular time, when the stars were in alignment at a certain position, they were to go to the ancient Kiva. And at the ancient Kiva, all the Pueblo nations would gather together, and they would begin a ceremony and meditation to call upon who they would call Pope Ipwa Pasiyamu. In translation, Father who represents creation, God of war. He is to come there and to protect the Hopi. He comes there to guard the Hopi and to deliver the Hopi into Gabiok, to bring back what they had lost and reteach them first.
Remember you said brother from Asia come to you guys. Could you talk about it?
Yes, I would love to. In our traditions and the prophecies that were handed to us, when I was called to the Hopi from the Pueblo in Taos, I arrived at the Hopi and it was mandated that I find our lost brothers and sisters. Where did we come from? Who are we? What is the meaning of our name?
Who do you think brothers in Asia? Who do you brother to?
I was to find the ancient land of Jason, which we now know as South Korea, or Korea as a whole. We've had many, many different Asian cultures come through and try to say that they were our lost brothers and sisters, but they gave no information about the three ancient sacred dynasties. It is only those from the Jungzendo who have come to the Hopi and to myself personally and have spoken of this issue. Part of my journey was to find this ancient truth and to bring it back, and that is what I am ready to do now.
In Jungsan's teaching, we admire God and the ancestral spirits together.
Yes, our ancestors are our gods. We have a Heavenly Father who is, and we have a Heavenly Mother. In tradition, Hopi are supposed to honor their ancestors. We too also have a celebration to honor our ancestors who have passed away. It is very common in the Hopi tradition that you have a little food bowl in which you place food to feed the spirits of the land, the mountain spirits, and also your ancestors. This is very important to us because we knew, we were taught thousands of years ago, as long as we did this, and when this person comes to them, that the traditions would continue on and they would learn that they have indeed done the lost things, even though they have had nobody yet make announcements to them. With my being with them, we have discussed this in great detail. So in ending of this question, it's very important that everyone understands. We may not be members of the Jungzendo. I am. I'm the first of my kind to come back to the original teachings from the ancient day. So what is being taught in the Jungzendo is exactly what the Hopi follow and believe in.
In Universe Autumn, the main teaching is returning to the origin. Could you match your culture to this teaching, please?
I would be honored. The Hopi themselves have held on to their ancient traditions. The problem here is in the Western world, many, many nations have been attacked. The Hopi have been attacked more culturally through Christianity and other things, and the government's trying to force us into believing something different. We need to understand that with the Hopi culture, that this form of Gabyok is so important that they've been out of contact with the rest of the world for thousands and thousands of years. And so it is up to the teachings that are coming back to them, what is going to do the process to help clean the land and prepare for Gabyok.
In Dojon, Sangyeon visited Indian villages. Do you know?
Yes.
In that place, Mount was crying. What do you think about it?
About Sangyeon in the mountains crying?
Yeah, the Sangyeon Beach, Indian village.
Yes, okay. On the Hopi, we have a place in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is known as San Francisco Peaks. It is indeed the highest mountain in our region. We too send our spirits there, to the mountain spirits. When it comes to fall, that is where we send we ask for our ancestors to please meet our families there. Because of everything bad happening into the Western world, it's important that I go to high peaks, take my time, be by myself, and there I ask to be guided by the mountain spirits. Everything we do is catered to what we're talking about right here. It is very important to us because in our past, we know that somebody had visited the Hopi reservation and spoke about these things, and these were the new instructions given to us. Nobody knows exactly how many years ago, but I would say it's within 140 years.
140 years?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you really believe in the God descended as a human being?
Oh, yes. We knew that this would happen. We knew that once the spirit of creative change manifests into the flesh, onto this earth, that would begin the time of preparation for Gabyok. We knew that during that time we were supposed to return to our origins, okay? Contact our ancestors, begin to pray exceedingly hard, that we ask for forgiveness. We ask that, now I know his name, Sung Jan Yim, would bless us and guide us.
What is your plan in Jungzendo?
My plan for with the Jungzendo, first of all, was to find the truth. And I have certainly found that thanks to my friend Sangki Kim. Secondly, with the Native Americans, the way we have been ripped apart, murders, genocide, slavery, many other things, I have come to the Jungzendo for myself first. But I have found what I've been seeking for, that was to be the element used to help save my people. And this is very important. So my plans with the Jungzendo is, number one, to study hard, to center myself and be rooted in the teachings of Tao. With the meditation, what I am going to do is eventually have a small little center on the Hopi once things become more established. That way, the Native Americans have someplace safe that we can begin reinstituting the learnings of the Jungzhen-Do. And at the same time, to save as many Hopi, non-Hopi, if you're from the Sioux Nation, if you're Aztec, if it doesn't matter. I am here to find the way to save my people and then to start to teach them and bring them back home.
You told me days ago you figured out your name, Hopi name, is originated from Korean.
Yeah.
Could you tell me?
Of course. And the one question that has never been answered, who are we and what does our name mean? I am the first Hopi to understand this. So I speak the ancient Hopi language and our consonant vowels are much different. When you pronounce Hopi as being somebody who's, I was taught the English in our school as a requirement. Nobody ever paid attention to the word Hopi, just Hopi, okay? Nobody knew it's Hopi. And Hopi, the Ho means tiger. The P, okay, which is interesting because the I is pronounced as an E. In the Korean alphabet, the E is pronounced as an I, and the I is pronounced as the E. When we were on one of our journeys, we were finishing and eating dinner. It was as if a light bulb turned on.
How did you come up with the idea?
One of the persons who's a practitioner and actually works in the building here, his daughter, Minda, he was grabbing her shirt and pulling on it, Hopi, 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 and he was saying tiger skin. And I'm like, say that again? Hopi, and he pulled on the shirt. And that's when I realized, we are the missing tiger skin clan, okay? That was the first moment in thousands of years the name Hopi has pronounced itself. The beauty in it is because it came through a child. What more precious gift than a man in my position could hear? To have a child be the gift that teaches me what my name means. It is so profound that it has become a climax. And I promised myself that I wouldn't cry. And I'm fighting back these tears. To know what my name means tells me and teaches me beyond fact where I have descended from. I know now beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's not that I need faith. I don't need to believe in anything. In our culture, if you think you know, be quiet because you're still learning. If you believe you know, you are going off of someone else's testimony. Either you know or you don't know. I now know the meaning of my name. Thus, I have my identity back. Without identity, I have no course to reestablish my roots or the roots of my people, which is in fact the most important work of my life. This is what the Jungzhen-Do can do for me and my people. This is where I want to take the Jungzhen-Do in the United States. In the Western world, if you ever pay attention, everybody loves the Native Americans. The Native Americans have lost their identity. I am the first to bring it back home to them.
상제님 대도 진리가 인디언 모두에게 전해져 자신들의 뿌리를 찾아 정체성을 회복하고 그들이 고대했던 포천 가을 기벽과 하나님의 구원 소식을 만나게 기대합니다.